A bunch of terrorists kidnapped a French journalist, and then they took him to a cave. Upon arrival in the cave, the journalist was locked up in a cell. Little did they know that the journalist was actually an undercover secret agent named Adam Franco, who was known for his exceptionally violent and sadistic behavior. He was assigned to free a reporter named Sonia. Soon after, a terrorist walks into Adam's cell and brings him some water to drink, and he proceeds to finish him off with a single stab. He then takes out the other two terrorists and disarms them. The incident eventually created a riot in the cave. He managed to kill all the terrorists, but his mission wasn't over. In fact, he had two missions: to destroy the terrorists and to kill Sonia instead of saving her. As a loyal agent, he shot her without hesitation. Meanwhile, in France, terrorist bombings rocked the city of Paris. The news of the bombing was heard by Martinet, who serves as France's security minister and is responsible for the country's national security. According to television news, the mastermind of the bombing was Mokhtar Al-Tayeb, who was a Sudanese warlord and had a relationship with the most powerful mafia in France, Victor Pastor. Inevitably, Martinet had to move quickly. He ordered his subordinate, Kruger, to sort out the problem, and of course, Kruger would send his best agent, who was none other than Adam Franco. In the meantime, Adam is currently in Tunisia, and while enjoying his lunch, he sees a broadcast on television about Sonia's disappearance. As the story goes, Adam finally receives the code to return to France, and so, without much thought, he flies straight to his homeland. Upon arriving in France, he immediately heads to the apartment where he will be staying. There, he meets with Kruger to discuss his next mission. Over a cup of tea, Kruger hands him a document on Mokhtar and Victor, but Adam's main target is Mokhtar, while Victor will only be used as bait. It was said that the mobster had been friends with Mokhtar since he was still selling drugs, so he would be the perfect bait, and Adam's first task was to disguise himself as a new worker at Victor's house. He has to dig up as much information as possible to find Mokhtar's whereabouts. Adam will not be alone. Kruger has also sent Cisco and Mona. These two will help him carry out this mission. After hearing Kruger's explanation, his mission officially begins. The next day, Adam is already accepted to work at Victor's place. Other than him, there is also a man named Karim, whose arrival that day is welcomed by Youssef, Victor's right-hand man. After filling in their personal data, Adam and Karim are taken on a tour while listening to Youssef's explanation. During the tour, Youssef also introduces Adam to Manu, JB, and Bogdan, who are the loyal men of Victor. On the other hand, Victor appears to be in a meeting while wearing an oxygen tube, but he immediately takes it off when Jacques enters his room. His subordinate suddenly applies for leave because he has to take care of his son at home, so he brings Adam to replace him. Out of concern, Victor granted Jacques' request. As Adam was observing Jacques' movements from afar, Manu approached him and asked why Jacques had chosen him, to which he replied that Victor needed a safeguard. His remarks offended Bogdan because he was Victor's bodyguard. The two then got into an argument and were about to fight. However, with just one punch, Adam was able to knock Bogdan out in one fell swoop. The commotion is then heard by Victor, and the vile mobster then scolds Adam. Afterwards, Victor orders his henchman, Pee-wee, to take Adam back to work. Elsewhere, Jacques has just arrived at his house, and when he enters, Cisco points a gun at him, and his son is held hostage by Mona. Apparently, Jacques has been framed by Kruger to have Adam infiltrate Victor's house. In order not to leave a trace, Cisco and Mona had to drug Jacques and his son and then hide them away. After securing the father and son, they get back into their van. In the van, the two would monitor all of Victor and Mokhtar's movements. A while later, a phone call is made, and Cisco and Mona tap the call and track the caller's voice. Once the voice was matched, it turned out that the person calling Victor was Mokhtar Al-Tayeb. This terrifying figure is currently in France. He is a very brutal yet smart man. Simply by walking, people seem reluctant and afraid of him, and until now, his whereabouts have not been traced at all. In his hideout, he is working with a man named Yassine, who will help him with all his activities. Switch back to Adam. He is assigned to work alongside Pee-wee this time. They were both told to take the floor plan of a bank from a banker. It would be later used to rob the bank. But Pee-wee looks nervous and scared as he faces the banker. Tired of waiting, Adam finally takes the lead.
Ah, bastard, you broke my wrist!
So there you go. Not so complicated, was it?
He goes up to the banker and straightaway breaks the banker's hand. The man finally relented and quickly handed over the requested floor plan before Adam acted more brutally. Thanks to this, Pee-wee then invites him for a drink, and it turns out that the club is owned by Victor's wife, Natalia. As they're enjoying their drinks, a scene breaks out outside the club caused by Ahmet's men. Ahmet is Victor's enemy, and that night, he and his men deliberately come to make a scene and beat up Sofiane, the club security guard. To help Sofiane, Adam and Pee-wee got into a fight with Ahmet and his men that night. As a result of the fight the night before, Natalia is infuriated with Victor, and they get into an argument that leaves their son Jonathan to suffer the consequences. The boy could only stay in silence as he watched his parents fight, and Victor then told him to go to school without him. However, before they leave, Helen suddenly stops them. Helene is Victor's eldest daughter, and she never liked her father's organization, so she takes Jonathan to go with her. Since he couldn't drive Jonathan to his school, Adam went back to his apartment to rest. However, a few minutes later, Victor called him. Before entering Victor's house, Adam attached a tracker to one of Victor's cars and then met Victor in his room. When he saw Adam, the mobster was very impressed with him and thanked him for his good work. Victor then had Yusuf dig into Adam's background, and to his surprise, the man's past was very dark. It is reported that Adam was a teenager who once killed a member of the House of Representatives when he was 15 years old. He finally accepted Adam as part of his organization and not just a driver. After gaining Victor's trust, Adam then offers to become his bodyguard, but the mobster doesn't need another bodyguard. He just wants Adam to guard the club until Sofiane fully recovers. The rest of the time, Adam will become Jonathan's bodyguard, and like it or not, Adam must follow Victor's orders. When Adam picks up Jonathan at his school, he sees the little boy being bullied by his friend, and he can't fight back, despite being a son of the mafia. Seeing the incident, Adam walks up to the bully and flicks him on the nose, causing it to break. However, Helene couldn't trust Adam even though he had defended Jonathan. The girl again takes her brother forcibly, and the secret agent just lets them go. Helene then retrieves her brother's belongings from the car, and she accidentally sees Adam's file. Out of curiosity, Helene steals the file and is surprised to find out that Adam has been killing people since he was 15 years old. Back then, Adam shot dead a member of the House of Representatives who had harassed and killed his little brother. While on guard at Natalia's Milord Club, Adam accidentally spots Natalia, who is chatting with Ahmet's men. The scene then switches to Mokhtar. The man is having a dream about his wife's death when he was accused of being a terrorist by Markinet. Not only that, but his little daughter was also shot. Since the incident, he has turned into a terrifying figure, and he holds a grudge against Markinet and the French government. After waking up from his dream, he bowed down, begging his god. A moment later, Pee-wee comes to see him, and it's revealed that Pee-wee is Mokhtar's cousin, whose real name is Asin. Mokhtar then invites Pee-wee to pray together, and then they plan their mission. It's Jonathan's birthday. Instead of celebrating her son's birthday, Natalia is busy with herself, which makes her son lonely. Fortunately, Adam arrives at the right time and brings him a gift, a punching bag. He wants Jonathan to practice self-defense so he won't be bullied. Later that afternoon, Pee-wee suddenly invites Adam to conduct a robbery, and this will be the most difficult job. Before leaving with Pee-wee, Adam decides to wiretap Victor's room, and to avoid suspicion, he invites Jonathan to play hide and seek in Victor's room. Victor entered his room and almost caught him. Not wanting to take any chances, Adam finally unplugs one of the bugs. Victor then calls Mokhtar and says that the robbery will begin soon. Eventually, some of the money will be given to the terrorists. Elsewhere, upon learning that Victor's men would conduct a robbery, Cisco and Mona quickly followed them from behind. Once in front of the bank building, Pee-wee and his friends are assigned to enter the bank, while Adam is assigned to stand guard in the car, and the robbery begins. After successfully robbing the bank, they immediately return to Victor's house, but suddenly they were colliding with some of Ahmet's men. Following the incident, Cisco immediately helped Adam and his friends by shooting at Ahmet's men. A firefight ensues, and with his excellent shooting skills, Adam is able to defeat all his opponents.
Go! We got company!
Go, go, go!
Elsewhere, Kruger is once again urged by Minister Markinet to finish his mission. Kruger then promises to bring down Mokhtar Al-Tayeb immediately. Move on to Victor's house, where they shared the proceeds of the robbery. Some of the money is then given to Pee-wee to support Mokhtar's needs. When he saw the whole thing, Adam was convinced that the man had a close relationship with the terrorists. Adam then decided to follow Pee-wee. Before following him, Adam meets Natalia and tells her to take Jonathan to go with her, because sooner or later, Victor will find out that his wife has been working with Emmett to thwart the robbery he has committed. While Adam was tailing Pee-wee, Natalia received a call from Emmett. The mobster feels betrayed by Natalia, and as a result, he beats Helene and kidnaps Jonathan. To save her son, Natalia needs to convince Victor to hand over the money. However, Natalia failed to persuade Victor. The mobster was unwilling to ransom his son with money, as this was not in line with his principles. Natalia then goes on a wild rampage because of her husband's statements, thinking that Victor doesn't care about their son because he's not his biological son. Unlike her parents, Helene acts swiftly to save Jonathan by contacting Adam. She knew that he would definitely help her brother. To save Jonathan, Adam is willing to drop his mission. Adam then grabs Cisco's weapon to attack Emmett's base. Meanwhile, Cisco has to stay on guard until Mokhtar shows up. After Adam left, he saw the terrorist coming out of an internet cafe. He then followed him, but unfortunately, he was killed by Pee-wee.
Hands up. Turn around.
Hassan!
Adam has reached Emmett's headquarters. The security there is extremely tight, so he has to disguise himself as a junkie, and after getting in, he pretends to buy some magic powder. The secret agent then kills a guard, and after that, he goes up to Emmett's room. Once upstairs, he swings wildly into action and takes out Emmett's men one by one. The sound of gunfire attracts dozens of other thugs, and a shootout ensues. In the end, Adam manages to defeat all the gang members. He slaughters them sadistically, and as a result of the shootout, his stomach is injured. But that doesn't stop him. He swiftly blocks the blood in his stomach. After stopping the blood from flowing, he rises again to deal with Emmett. Adam managed to save Jonathan, and without wasting much time, he immediately drove Jonathan to his house. But once there, he falls unconscious and then dreams about his past, when he was recruited by Kruger to become a secret agent. When he woke up, Adam realized that his mission was not yet complete. Helene, who is by his side, persuades him to take a little rest, but he insists on going. He doesn't want to waste any more time. Elsewhere, Mokhtar comes to Markinet's house. He then leaves a secret envelope, of which we don't know what it is yet. Meanwhile, Adam goes to the internet cafe where Mokhtar was last seen. He then checks the CCTV to see what has happened, and he is very sure that Cisco has been killed by Mokhtar, especially since the agent can no longer be contacted. Having failed to catch Mokhtar, Adam throws a tantrum and blames himself. Soon after, a group of cops show up at the internet cafe and ask Adam to get out of there, thinking he's a wanted terrorist. However, after he mentioned his secret code, they let him go. Adam had no idea that the person who had sent the report to the police was Yusef. The bulky man trusted his instincts and thought Adam was a secret agent. After returning from the internet cafe, Adam is surprised by Helene, who is already in his apartment. The girl looks worried because the wound on Adam's stomach is getting worse, and her arrival at Adam's apartment is to bring medicine for him, while Adam is being treated by Helene. Elsewhere, Mona is confused because all her teammates cannot be contacted. However, a moment later, she intercepts a conversation between Yusef and Manu. They say Victor has found out that his wife is a traitor, and not only that, Yusef also calls on his friends to kill Adam. Markinet summons Kruger again, and he tells him that Mokhtar has threatened him, that he will spread a secret document. If the document is spread, they will have to deal with the law. Cut to Adam's apartment. Yusef and his friends are set to kill Adam, but luckily, Mona arrives to thwart them. She pretends to borrow a lighter and then launches her attack.
I'm trying to quit.
Sadly, Mona was hit in the neck. A dying Mona then informs Adam that his cover has been blown. Upon learning this, Adam rushes to track down Pee-wee. Upon arriving at the location, Adam walks into a former hospital building where Mokhtar and Pee-wee are currently praying together. Not wanting to waste any time, Adam shot Mokhtar in the leg. However, who would have thought that Mokhtar was not a terrorist? He came to France because he was invited by the French government, but he was framed by Markinet and Kruger and labeled as a radical. All of this happened because of the French government's greed. In this place, Mokhtar is looking after his daughter, who is in a coma after being shot by French soldiers and is about to be put into surgery. After listening to Mokhtar's explanation, Adam's heart melted, and he allowed Mokhtar to accompany his beloved daughter. But unfortunately, Kruger's troops suddenly arrived and shot Mokhtar to death. Another shootout ensues, this time not mafia against police but police against police. Adam chooses to defend Pee-wee because he believes Pee-wee is actually not at fault. The two of them then take Mokhtar's daughter to a safe place, and then they share the tasks. Pee-wee will trick the soldiers to make it easier for Adam to attack. While Adam is fighting back, Pee-wee takes his niece into the ambulance, and shortly after, Adam catches up with him. They finally manage to escape from that place. At the end of the story, it is revealed that Victor killed his wife, and he was later killed by Kruger. At the same time, Minister Martinet panicked because his friendly relationship with Mokhtar was spread to the public. Pee-wee manages to escape from France with his niece. After killing Victor, Kruger tracks down Helene as he has been ordered to kill all of Victor's family, including Helene and Jonathan, but Adam manages to stop him, and Kruger dies at his hands.